Okay, we need to talk about a word that you hear absolutely everywhere. Let's get really clear on what gaslighting actually is and what it isn't. Gaslighting is everywhere now. You know how it is. If someone disagrees with your memory or says, that's not how I remember it, you've probably heard it called gaslighting. It's kind of become this catch all for everything from a simple disagreement to a pretty serious lie. And look, maybe you've said it yourself. I know I have. And that makes sense. We reach for that word because it feels like it names something that really hurts. So, what exactly happened here? Let's take a quick look at how the language drifted. Okay, so check this out. On one hand, you have clinical gaslighting. This is a very specific, sustained pattern of manipulation. It's when someone systematically, over and over again, makes you doubt your own reality, all to maintain control. But then, look at how we use it now. It's drifted to mean just disagreeing or forgetting something or even just telling a single lie. So how did this happen? Well, it's a process called social entrainment. It just means we absorb a word's meaning from the world around us, social media, conversations, TV shows. We basically learned this new, broader definition because that's how everyone else was using it. And it's not just us. A recent survey found that 38% of Americans agree that gaslighting is the most misused therapy term out there. So you are definitely not alone in noticing this. So here's the most important takeaway. You're not wrong. The language just drifted. You use the word exactly the way your context taught you to use it. This is not about you getting it wrong. It's just how language evolves. And that brings us to the whole point of this: choosing clarity over confusion. Getting precise isn't about being picky. It's about seeing things more clearly, without any shame. Just think about it for a second. If gaslighting can mean anything from forgetting a birthday to a systematic campaign of abuse, how can we possibly know what we're actually dealing with? The word gets so watered down, it starts to lose its power. This is the perfect way to think about it. Using gaslighting for every little thing is like using a giant sledgehammer to hang a tiny picture frame. Sure, it's a powerful tool, but it's way too heavy and clumsy for the job. Choosing a more specific word like lied or dismissed is like picking the right sized hammer. You get the job done without wrecking the wall. Being specific doesn't make the hurt any smaller. In fact, it does the exact opposite. It actually lets you see the real pattern much more clearly. When you can name what happened, you can respond to what's really happening. So let's try a simple, super low friction experiment. This isn't about creating a new rule, it's just a little tool for your own awareness. It's just 2 simple steps. First, the next time you get that urge to say or think, "They gaslight me," just pause for 1 second. Then, ask yourself this simple question: what did they actually do? And here are some things that might come up. Maybe what actually happened was they lied to you. So you can just say they lied. Or maybe they dismissed your feelings. Name that. Or maybe they just forgot something important, and yeah, that really hurt. And hey, maybe they did systematically deny your reality. That could be what's happening. And again, let me be clear. This isn't about policing your own language or trying to be perfect. It's simply about the practice of getting one layer more specific, just so you have more clarity for yourself. All right, let's bring it all home with your one takeaway for the week. A really simple awareness checkpoint. Your only job this week is to notice. That's it. Not to correct anyone, not even yourself. Just notice when you hear the word gaslighting out in the wild. So here's the practice. When you hear it, just mentally swap that word for what actually happened. They lied. They dismissed my feelings. They forgot. And then just notice what changes for you when you name that specific action. That's the whole thing. No shame, no judgment. It's just about practicing sharper, clearer language for yourself. And I'll leave you with a final thought. If something's softened in you during this explainer, maybe a little less judgment for yourself or for others, how can you stay connected to that feeling? If you'd like some private tools to help strengthen these skills, you can find them over at Life Skills TTP. Thanks so much for exploring this with me.